is it that we need to really draw attention to our cities today? And why is it important for us to really see what God's doing in the cities?
Well, because that's where the people are. And that's how we demonstrate our love to God, is by going to where the people are, particularly lost people. You're right. It is sort of an odd coincidence that as God has brought the ends of the earth to us, we have gone to the suburbs to get away from those places.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's not because we inherently are opposed to cities or those people. It's just that there's that evangelical lift, that you hear about, that when people begin living an evangelical lifestyle, they're faithful to their spouse, they become more family oriented, they remove the vices that had sucked away life and treasure from their life patterns, they economically thrive. And when they economically thrive, they start looking for better schools, better neighborhoods, better conditions for their families. But the entry point for so many of these people who come to America is the cities. They come to the cities because that's where the jobs are. And we saw during the pandemic, Bangladeshi families, for example, who had immigrated by the tens of thousands to cities like New York and Houston. And they would often live, 2, 3 generations all crammed into one apartment. So unfortunately, the pandemic, as COVID went through, it just ravaged many of these unfortunate communities of immigrants because they did live so closely together and could not escape the city. So what we're trying to do is help the churches, wherever they're found, whether they're in the city or in the suburbs or in small towns across America, to realize that God has brought the nations to them, and that this is not a coincidence. God didn't make a mistake. It's not the result of bad immigration policy, although we may have bad immigration policy. We're not pro, open borders. That's not the point. The point is they're here already.
Yeah.
And these are people, the vast majority have come in legally. They've come in looking for a better life for their family and their future. But even more importantly, the Bible tells us, this is found in Acts chapter 17, verses 26 and 27. It says, Paul says, from one nation, God made all the peoples of the earth, and he determined what would be their boundaries and the times that they would live in these places. And he did this so that they might reach out for him and that they might find him, though he is not far from any one of us. And what that little passage tells us, that Acts chapter 17 passage, is that wherever people are, they're there because God determined their times and their boundaries. And he did that for a purpose. The purpose was so that they would perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he's not far from any one of us. And I try to cast a vision for our brothers and sisters in churches all over the country that look what God is doing in our day. He is bringing the ends of the earth to us in a way that not only was not possible 20 years ago, but what's possible today is now that they're here, they're communicating back to their homelands. So if we communicate the gospel and new life in Jesus Christ to them here and now today, it is sending reverberations, gospel echoes that are going literally to the ends of the earth, to places that will no longer allow us as missionaries to go. But these people are going, they're communicating, they're talking every single day to those places.